I shit you not, guys. This hat is filthy. It really needs to be washed. Like yesterday, if you watch my video from yesterday, which would be the one right before this one, I was sweating like a motherfucker. The hat was drenched. It was literally, it felt like I just dunked it in water. It was that drenched in sweat. And I let it dry in my bag overnight, and I'm putting it on my head again today. So this cannot be good for my skin, but I'm doing it because it does make for more consistent audio, so you better appreciate the effort or the lengths that I'm going to ensure that there's decent quality audio in these videos. So you can show me some love by liking the video or subscribing if you'd like, if you're new to the channel. I don't usually ask people to do that, so I felt a little bit weird just doing that then. But if you want to show your love and support, like the video, comment down below, and yeah, subscribe if you haven't already yet. And if you don't like these videos, don't subscribe. Only like if you like these kinds of videos. So I'm going to do a warm-up set. What's that? 30 or 40 pound. I'm going to do a warm-up set with that, then I'll jump to the working weight, which will be 70 pound for 3 my rep match sets. Last week I believe I got 12 or 11 reps, so I'll be aiming to hit that again at least, and go from there basically. After this I've got Bayesian curls, and then it'll be into the rear delts and back to finish off. 2 bicep movements, 1 rear delt movement, and 2 back movements. So pretty straightforward session, just got to get it done. Body weight's been finally moving this week actually, but I did make an adjustment to my supplementation. So it's likely just a bit of increased fluid retention from that, as well as a slight increase in food finally having an effect. Because I had a calorie increase the other week, which was a 50 gram carb increase per day, so 850 up to 900 carbs on average. However, this week's my first week of carb cycling as well, and so I've actually had north of 1,000 carbs yesterday, which I think is the reason why my weight was up a little bit more today as well. It's the first time I've eaten over 1,000 carbs in the push phase. So I'll see how things go today, and yeah, go from there basically. Oof. All right. 70 pounds now. So, there we go. Finally got some mosquito repellent tonight too. When I was walking to the gym tonight, when I was on my way, I just stopped into the 7-Eleven. They had some little mosquito repellent spray bottles. They're like 35 baht each, which is, I want to say about 70 cents. So yeah, grabbed a couple of those. They're only real little, like they're real small. Hence the reason why they're so cheap. So yeah, just put that on, and hopefully that'll stop me from getting raped by them tonight. My legs got absolutely obliterated by them the other night, and they still feel itchy. You know when you've got like a bunch of mosquito bites and they're just like irritated constantly. And I mean, it's going to be like that for a few days, I understand that, but I was scratching them like crazy tonight before I came to the gym, and I thought to myself, oh, I've scratched them tonight, I definitely need to get some insect repellent or some mosquito repellent, because as soon as you scratch them, you're kind of like exposing that underlayer of the skin, and mosquitoes can smell that, and it's like crack for them, so they'll just like go straight for you. Alright, first working set. 2 to go. Alright. Round 2 now. Seat feels a little bit off setting wise, but I've already done the first set, so I don't want to change it around now. Keep things consistent. I'm feeling pretty tired today. Oh, it's actually Valentine's Day today. Well, it was Valentine's Day today. Night time now. What is it? 9:45 at night. It's just a fucking late session, I'll tell you that. Seems to be the trend lately, though. I'm in the process, like I said, in my last couple training sessions of fixing my circadian rhythm, slowly moving it back half hour at a time. So this morning I woke up at 9:30, which is a big improvement. I was waking up as late as midday at one point. So once I get back to about like 7, I'll be pretty happy. 7 a.m. is reasonable. I used to get up a lot earlier than that. I mean, there was a long stretch of time where I was getting up at 3 in the morning every day. I'm in a position now, have been for quite some time, where I don't need to necessarily, so why would I, or why should I? Especially because I got ADHD. People with ADHD actually have a slightly offset circadian rhythm, even when like things are in perfect cadence or flow. Like the way that we're wired, to my understanding, I haven't really looked into this a lot, but the way that someone with ADHD is wired, you actually naturally, or you have a natural proclivity to want to go to bed a little bit later and wake up a little bit later. And a lot of people might be saying, watching this, oh, I must have ADHD. That sounds like me. Well, not really. It's just one of a plethora of traits, and there's a lot of neurotypical people that have that trait too. A lot of people who don't have ADHD feel that same way, so it's not a way to self-diagnose or anything of that sort, but it is just a characteristic or a trait that happens to be associated with ADHD. And it made sense once I was diagnosed with ADHD, when I started to hear about all of these associated traits and characteristics. I thought to myself, oh, it makes a lot of sense now. I have a reason for the why or the why behind what I did. The why behind why I did a lot of things. Fuck, that was a mouthful. I'm going to do a second set. I'm just rambling. Oh. Something funky's gone on there. It just felt like it got exponentially heavier, and I think one of the cables is actually not on one of the pulleys properly, so I'm gonna have to have a look at this, because it literally felt like that. Like there was additional friction and resistance unaccounted for in that first set on that second set, so I'll have to play around with it. Okay, I couldn't really find any issues with the pulley, but it did feel a lot harder than that first set, so I don't know what is going on, and I don't know if it's going to be the same for this final set. I hope not, because it didn't feel right. It felt like the cable could have broken at any moment, which isn't a very comforting thought when you're doing bicep curls. Last thing I want is for that to snap, and for some unwanted force to just cause my bicep to snap and tear. So see how things go on this, and hopefully it goes alright. Hopefully it feels more like the first set and not the second set. But after this anyway, I've got Bayesian curls, no more sets after this one. Oh. Okay. I believe I used that free motion machine the other week. However, it does not have handles on it. And I don't want to go changing handles around on bits of equipment, so I'll just use this one. I can effectively do the same exercise. It's got the same loading scheme for the plates, so why not? All right. Might feel a little bit different than I used the fat grip handles last week. This week I'm using the regular ones. I didn't even really check if I was fully in frame in this before when I recorded that first set. I still don't know if I am. Hopefully I am. For all I know, my head could be getting cropped off right now. We shall see in the post-production phase when I get home and start putting the video together. Just occurred to me that I'm actually wearing my favourite shirt tonight. Might not really look like anything special, and it isn't, to be honest. It's just a black, not black, shit, grey cotton shirt that I bought over here not long after arriving. It's like a 7XL. Yeah, 7XL. Nice and comfortable. I don't like shirts being tight. I find if a shirt's tight, I struggle to take the shirt off. And it's one of the shit things about getting bigger, to be honest. One of the only shit things is putting clothes on becomes a chore. Putting your shoes on becomes an even bigger chore. Sleeping's hard. Walking downstairs feels like a bit of a, I suppose, obstacle, and God, walking upstairs is even worse. Okay, so we got 4 sets for the rear delts. Last week was the first week, I believe, that I went up to 130 pounds, so I'll stick with this tonight. See if I can get a rep PB. Going into the 3rd set now. So far, so good. 2 sets of 16, so 1 rep PB. These are rep match though, so, or my rep match. So if I need a rest pause, I can take it. Final set of these. And it's on the back to finish off for the session, which is going to be the hard stuff, I can tell you that. How considerate of whoever was using this machine prior to me, because they didn't unload the weights, which has made my job a heck of a lot easier. I only had to load one plate on. So last week I did, was it 3 plates a side, 345s each side. I think it was like 15 reps or thereabout, 14, 15 reps per set. So that's why I've just bumped it up to 4 plates per side today, because the rep range is quite big, 10 to 15, and if I can hit 15 quite comfortably with, or if I can just hit 15 quite consistently, which I was with 3 plates, I know I've got 4 plates in the bag for at least 10 reps, which is what I just got then. So I'll just aim for another set of 10, and hopefully I can just maintain that that pace for the remainder of the sets. Shit, a bit of indigestion happening. One of the other perks of gaining weight. Periods of indigestion, brief periods I should say. It's not always, but it does happen. Not a bad set, but in all honesty, I could probably slow the eccentrics, the negatives down just a little bit more toward the end. They were still a bit fast for my liking, but still rep quality was there, so not bad, I guess. Yeah, bit of a rest, another set, bit of a rest, and then one final set. Then it's on to rows, which is the last movement for the session. 4 sets on that, and then home time. Okay, next set. I can't remember if this is the 3rd or 4th set. I'll have to check the camera afterward, but anyhow. I have a feeling it's the 4th set, but we'll see. Yeah, so it turns out that was the 3rd set, so I've got one more to go. One more set, and then it's on to the rows to finish off. I've definitely got a couple reps in the tank, I can tell that. I can tell that much, so I mean, if I had to put like a label to this exercise tonight, I'm probably hitting about like a 2.5 reps in reserve. If I had like a gun to my head, that was, and maintained good execution. Didn't let my technique go to shit essentially, but yeah, it's still within the proximity of, I suppose, inducing or stimulating muscle protein synthesis. So it's effective. The reps are effective, or the sets are effective. So one more set of these. Shit, the plates are coming off that side. The ground must be a little bit uneven here, not quite level, because it seems like every set the plates on that right fork or pin, yeah, pin I guess you'd call it, that right pin want to kind of like slide off toward the edge. The ones on the left, however, they're fine, they're just not really moving at all, they're just chilling there. Oh. So yeah, final set, let's get it. God damn, I'm tired. I was in bed. I shit you not, I was in bed for 9 hours last night, but according to my Apple Watch, it says I got 4.5 hours sleep. So the sleep apnea is real in this second push phase. So I'll have to really start using my CPAP soon. No more joking around. I mean, I did spend $2,000 US on it, so I should use it. It's a bit of a waste otherwise. It's close to like a 1.5 rep in reserve, so definitely going hard enough, just not to failure. But then again, you don't need to train to failure to elicit growth, despite what people say. If you train like a little bitch, you might have to train to what you think is failure, but it's in fact actually not failure. People's perception is quite skewed a lot of the time. So I mean, general rule of thumb, like if you're still within your first 3 years of lifting, if you're maintaining good execution, good technique, I would say just probably 9 times out of 10 train to what you think is failure, because I can guarantee it's probably not failure, and it's well within that Goldilocks zone of 4 and 1 reps in reserve. Over time, as you get more experienced, you'll find that you will be able to more accurately gauge what true failure is, and then you will have to kind of leave a little bit in the tank so that you don't burn the candle out too soon. Because if you train to failure, true failure, consistently week after week, session after session, the rate at which you're going to have deload weeks and reset systemic fatigue is going to be a lot more frequent and come about a lot quicker, which isn't necessarily ideal. We all need to deload at the end of the day, but we want to be able to stretch accumulation phases out as long as possible. When you're new to lifting, you just lack the capacity, or the ability, I should say, to perceive true exertion. Your threshold for what you think is failure is a little bit skewed. So first, general rule of thumb, first 2 years at the very least of lifting properly, consistently, and following some sort of structured nutrition regimen, I would just train to what I perceived to be failure at the time. That's the advice I'd give to anybody new to lifting, or anybody within that 2-year initial window of training properly. But yeah, time to do the rows and get out of it. The gym's starting to close up. Half hour till it's shut. Alright, 4 sets of these and then it's home time. Just have to get the settings right. Oh, that's better. And with any kind of machinery, you want to make sure that you're maximizing the loaded stretch or any kind of like exercise for that fat. So chest support row, you want to set the chest support as far back as possible while still being able to physically reach the handles. That's what I was trying to say. Don't be a fuckwit. Use an appropriate amount of weight. Don't go too heavy. And if you're going to grip the handles, grip down lower, because mechanically you're going to put yourself at a bit of a disadvantage, depending on how the machine's built. Some machines it won't make a difference, but some machines it will. Nice deep stretch. Oh. Three to go. Yeah. One set left. Oh. Fourth and final set. And that's home time. I want to try to get a cab home, but I doubt I'll be able to because it's Valentine's Day. There's probably a lot of traffic and big surge on the app. We'll see how we go. Oh.